Having a 3-point PTO driven auger for the back of your tractor is a very handy tool, but it's hard to hook up. For one person, it is very difficult to hook up. So I used to chain this from a tree and let the boom fall down on the ground, which is not good for it. It kept getting rusty, hard to put on. So I started watching some YouTube videos, and nobody had exactly what I was looking for, but this was pretty doggone close. And so what I've done is put a post in the ground back here, chained my the auger part of it to it, so it's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall over this way. And then I came up here, and just behind the tractor tires, when I back up to it and set the PTO there, then my tractor tires will not be hitting this. So about 6 inches or so away from the back of the tractor tire. The reason I'm not giving you direct exact dimensions is every auger is going to be different. That shaft is going to be different lengths. So my measurement from here to these two to that is about 4 feet, but yours may certainly differ. Just depends on your tractor, your tires, the boom there on your auger. A lot of variables there. But anyway, I put a chain here. I mean a hook here, hook on the other side, chained it up. That's going to make it a lot easier to hook up. It's not on the ground. It's it's not perfect. It's still I'm still going to have to pick up on it some, but I'll have some control over it when I do. It's not to hook this up, if you got one, to hook it up, you got to lift up on it, find the hole up there, put the pin in it at the same time while you're wrestling with the weight of it, and it's not very light. So anyway, I think this is going to work good. I'll leave it here, and I had some metal, some I-beam. I put that underneath it I didn't want the point resting on the dirt. This is an old one. I bought it used 10 or 15 years ago, and it was about half worn out then, but it served me pretty well. Just got through digging a bunch of holes with it. But it's I think this is going to make it a lot easier for me. Something else I did years ago, I just put that's just a copper wire, like a ground wire, like you'd put on a ground stake. Copper wire tied, basically I'm tying the shaft to the boom here, so the shaft doesn't fall down. And I leave it on there even when I'm digging with it. If this was to come loose right here, that can be it can really be a problem if your shear pin breaks and you don't have that pin. I'm back on the other side, you can see it, that keeps it from coming off that shaft. When if this thing was to start going round and round, and you don't catch it quick enough, somebody's going to get hurt. Your tractor's going to get hurt. Your PTO output shaft is going to get hurt, and that's probably thousands of dollars. So anyway, so I keep this on there just to give some support to this. It doesn't need it when it's hooked up, but it gives me some extra peace of mind, I guess. Anyway, so you can see what I've done. 3 posts in the ground. I didn't cement them, and I maybe should have, because this one is moving just a little bit right there. Because that's a pretty good bit of weight on it. And but anyway, it works. It's going to work out for me real well. I'm happy with it. Only thing I could see that would be better is if I had it sitting up a little higher, and that's something that I might do now that I've got it up. If I could take a link or two out of this, bring it up a link or two and might raise it up a little bit, that would be better. That'll just save me from having to lift it up as much when I go back to put it on when I need it again. Well, there it is on the stand, tractor pulled away. Some observations. If I had it to do over again, and if it was a tool that I used very often, and if I had it to do over again, I would definitely put pipe in the ground instead of 4x4s, and I would definitely concrete it in. They have pulled away. You can probably see how they are leaning this way, and it would sit a lot higher, which would be easier to hook up if it was sitting exactly where I wanted it to sit. In other words, if it hadn't sagged some. It did sag, and it's my fault for not concreting those in. It's my fault for not using good 4x4s. Those were about half rotten. Now, that fence post is probably straight, so you can see how much it's leaned. But it is still going to be much easier to hook up. Again, it's not a tool I use very often. Nor are they. Some of them are. But it's not a tool that I use very often. Most of my fencing's done. Most of my barn building is done. Most of my everything is done. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sell this thing. And if I ever need it again, it will be much easier to hook up. So I just thought I would give you that information. If you're going to do this, I would use pipe and concrete it in. And I still may come back and do it just because I can't stand to have a post leaning like that. Pipe, and then weld you a little loop on it where you can put the chain in it. A little hook where you can hook the chain on it. And that way it will stand exactly where you want it to stand. But it's a good idea. I saw something very similar to this on YouTube. I saw some that were portable, rolled around on wheels, you know, but mine is not in a barn, not on a slab. That's just not going to do me any good out here. And again, it's not something I use very often, so it's not something I want to store in a barn. Just take up room in there for nothing. So here it is, and that is my observations of what I would do differently, and what, if you're going to build one, what you might want to do. All right, we gone.